like you need an escape from the pressures of our fast-paced world, your kids probably feel the same way. How about letting them get away from it all with a time-honored tradition? Build them a tree house. Robin Young learned how.
Is there anything sadder than a treehouse past its prime? If you have to take the old treehouse down, or if you're thinking of putting one up for the first time, we have good news. It's a new book called Treehouses you can actually build, and in a weekend, too. It's put together by David and Jeannie Stiles. He's an architectural designer, she's an author, and they have built a few treehouses in their day, and they're going to help us with some really introductory information.
Well, everybody at some point in their life has wanted a treehouse, I think. And really, all you need are a couple of good, strong trees, even one. But in the book, we've tried to give a blueprint of different situations people can use as a guide. But you have to be able to adapt your situation, your measurements, your trees, to exactly what you want and be creative.
Yeah. To your treehouse needs. Your trees must be at least 6 inches in diameter and healthy. If you use more than one tree, they've got to be 6 to 8 feet apart. The beginning is always the same, right, David?
Right. Well, you try and find the trees, and once you have that, you have to always put 2 or 3 supporting beams up that have to be absolutely level. And this is the time to take some time and make sure it's right. So we'll start right here. 6 feet high, it seems like a good height because you get the feeling you're up in the air, yet it's not so bad that...
Right, the kids are going to plummet out.
Yeah. Go ahead and pound away on that.
All righty.
This is a 1/2-inch lag screw, and it should have at least 1/2 inches because otherwise it might pull out.
Yeah.
It has 2 inches embedded in the tree.
Yeah, don't skimp on the hardware here, right?
Yeah, right. This is important.
Screws are better than nails. Galvanized is better than not.
Right. There. Okay, perfect.
Don't use pressure-treated wood. It's toxic. And get help when you can, like this mom and dad, who will drill a pilot hole for the second lag screw. Then up goes the second beam, which will be level to the first, and onto the frame. Okay.
Terrific. One of the features of construction is they always try and get a triangulation in everything. A triangle is the most important part because it's much stronger than a square.
Isn't that something? Tell me a little bit about how we create that triangle.
Well, you start out, and we mark it right here, and then you turn it over, and you take those marks, and you put your saw at the right depth, and you make a lot of passes through the wood, and then you take a chisel and knock out that wood, and you get this nice joint. And the joint goes together like that.
Triangles are hoisted up on the beams, screwed to braces, and then the structure is carefully framed out. And you find out just how high 6 feet is.
Oh, please don't break! Oh, please don't break!
You can nail scrap wood or plywood to the floor. Just space it out for drainage. Meanwhile, you can nail shingles onto the plywood roof sections just as you would onto a house. Remember that on one side you want to put in some hinges before you finish.
Hooray!
It's the window.
This is it.
You can add tar paper or plastic liner under the shingles for a waterproof roof.
We'll hold it here. It goes right to the edge, and in the middle of that beam up there.
Okay.
Feels perfect to me. Heave-ho!
You can spend as little as a couple $100 to build your treehouse, less if you use more scrap wood. Just remember, don't scrimp on hardware.
And the whole thing is to make it fun building it and fun playing it, and it's a wonderful thing for kids to be independent of the family and gain their own self-respect in their own place.
Get their own place. That's great. Okay. See how it looks?
There it goes.
It is so cool. And you know, this is just a day's work. You can really embellish from here, can't you?
Oh, that's right. This is just the beginning. You can do all kinds of things. Pulleys, ladders, swings, electric lights.
You can enclose it. We've left the ends open, but you can enclose it. It's just so great. David and Jeannie Stiles, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And Dad, too.
Can we come up now?
No way!
Oh, no.
This is ours. Are you kidding?
One last tip from the Stiles. Before you build your treehouse, be sure to run your plans by your neighbors if they're going to be able to see it from their home. It's the neighborly thing to do.